Hey everyone, it's Brittany. Today I'm back with another art video. This time I'm drawing my OC Eve using just the shades of blue. Eve is a sheriff cowgirl witch who uses her powers to wrangle the bad guys. I really like drawing her. She's my favorite character to draw, especially when I don't really know what I want to draw. So I figured that this would be fun for me to practice some blending and some shading using the Ohuhu markers and, get some good practice in. I've become more comfortable since having these markers. I've had them for a little bit over a week now, and I can say that I've fully enjoyed my little investment that I did getting these markers, and in my opinion, they are completely worth it. The sketchbook I'm using is Ohuhu's double-sided bleed-proof sketchbook. It truly is bleed-proof. I have another drawing that I'm going to do on the other side of this paper because there's no bleed through at all at the end of this. So if you are looking for a good bleed-proof alcohol marker pad, I really recommend the Ohuhu bleed-proof one because, it really works as advertised. So I first went in with B120 for the darker shadows, and then B220 for the midtone, and then BG3 as the base skin tone. I feel like this captured a decent amount of values for me to get across on her skin tone. So it was interesting. I've never really done I've done one other monochrome piece, and it was a pink monochrome piece, but I feel like that one wasn't enough of a stretch because the pink still looked like a human skin tone, so it just didn't stretch the narrative far enough for me. I feel like this one as a whole really stretches the boundaries of what I'm used to drawing. So I am pretty pleased with the skin and how it turned out. She looks almost ghostly, and I really like that effect. And it also made me more comfortable with going in and doing that type of skin effect on another drawing that I'm working on as well. For the jacket, I'm using BG209 for the darker tone, and then BG205 and BG203 for the lighter, darker gray blue tones as well, just to get the values of the jacket. So there's no actual black in this photo. It's just going to be those gray tones, and I feel like it worked out really well. I struggle with clothing wrinkles. I'm still trying to figure out how to do them. So the wrinkles, they might look a little janky, but for the most part, I'm pretty pleased with the overall result of how the jacket ended up turning out, especially at the end when I add my additional details with a white pen to help cut out some of the extra parts of the jacket that need to be redefined. And then I'm just going in and doing the little choker using the BG209. The eyes were BG070. I went in and just did those. Her eyes are usually pink. Now the hair was the hardest part for me. It's a combination of PB4, BB7 or PB7 and PB2. And then I was just praying because I am kind of rusty on doing hair, and I feel like this is the best hair I've drawn so far with the Ohuhu markers. My biggest thing was that I wanted to ensure that the values made the hair make sense. I didn't want them to be lost in translation within the piece and make the hair kind of morph within itself to where you can't tell where the braid starts and the braid ends, and so on and so forth. So I was really trying to focus on getting the values where I needed them to be so that, it all worked out. I feel like this is standard. I'm not great at explaining what I'm doing, but I'm using the white of the page to add the reflection of the braid in some areas. I feel like it really helps pop out the image a little bit, and just just drawing that braid. This is the longest drawing braid process in the world, I swear to you. It took me like 45 minutes just to do the braid, because really I only worked on this piece for about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. The longest portion of it was on the braid itself. It took me an incredibly long time to do the hair, so you know. And then I'm just using the darkest tone that I have for the hair, blues, and then outlining it with a lighter blue to kind of shine, to put that braid in the back. Usually the bottom brim of her hat is like a red, hot pinkish kind of tone. So I went ahead and just used a pretty bright blue to make that the brim of the hat. Now the video is kind of cut off, but she has like a witch hat with a cowboy hat brim. So at the very top, you'll kind of see it at the very end, but I went ahead and just colored that in with the same values that I used for the jacket. And then I'm using BG68 to do the background. It's more of like a green tone, but it still is blue enough, and I feel like it provides enough contrast with the rest of it to where it doesn't blend in with her or anything. So it ended up working out really well. The only issue I had was, for some reason, this marker was quite dry, and I ended up facing some problems, especially with the chisel end, where I found that the marker was just dry in general, even though I just bought these markers. So that was a little bit disappointing, because that was my first time ever using that marker. So I know that there was no reason for it to be dry. I'm using the Ohuhu fine liners to go in and do my line art. This is the dark blue fine liner. I can say that I was actually pretty happy with how the line art turned out. I've been really trying to practice my line art skills, because after being a digital artist for so long and not doing line art at all when I was a digital artist, I did digital painting. I can say that I'm a little rusty with my line art skills, but I ended up being pretty pleased with how this one turned out. There was a couple pieces that I had done previously where I did line art, and my hands were so shaky that everything just ended up looking super, super janky in the end. So I feel like this one ended up working out pretty well, and I'm pleased with how the line art ended up turning out. And I enjoy that it had blue ink, because it just leaves the piece looking so subtle and soft, and that was the kind of like aesthetic that I was going for with it. I decided to go in with my Jelly Roll pen and just refine some details, add some hair strands, and do like the little detail on her jacket, as well as some slight outlines around different parts of the jacket itself, and go in with my Artex acrylic marker to add some additional white details to the piece. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. If you're new here and haven't subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. I make art videos where I ramble about my process. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye!